It's sort of dawned on us since he passed away how well he was liked, and the sort of legacy he left behind, which when he was alive, we didn't realise existed. And it's taken us aback, really. We've been astounded by events and tried to keep up with them and trying to repay that legacy.
Sir Bobby, everybody comes because of the name. For people who knew him, he was a great person. He was one of this, he had that charisma where when he spoke, everybody listened. He had such, a great knowledge of football and a very kind person. So it's great to be here today to support him.
I was his captain for about 10 years, and he was a great manager, great person to work for. He built the club from pretty much nothing and developed it into one of the best clubs in Europe. And the whole thing was so enjoyable. We had some great players there. We had great success. The public loved us because of the way we played. It was just good times.
We came over with the families, and he made sure that we were happy and we were feeling at home as quick as possible. So my feelings for Bobby were very warm, and we felt very welcome. So he was the boss, he was the manager, and he was a good friend.
Bobby was a football workaholic. I mean, he spent all his time at the club, and everybody from the top to bottom was more or less not controlled by Bobby, but was aware of Bobby's presence, and he was awesome in as much as he more or less ran the club.
We hold all of these great players, and they were great players. I mean, they're really icons in this part of the world, and for those in the football fans who are old enough to remember, I'm often in a London taxi and people will recite me this whole team's name, So whenever people ask where I come from, and I tell them that this team, had the Champions League existed, would have been in the Champions League 6 years running, I think it really just says what an extraordinary manager Bobby Robson was.
Bobby was diagnosed with cancer about 8 years ago and went through endless treatments. And in his final years, he and Lady Elsie moved to Newcastle, where he was manager. He decided to create a foundation, having seen the help he was given from the specialists, the nurses and the care team. And his dream was to raise £500,000 to help a unit that was treating him. 3 years later, and sadly Bobby died 3 years ago, the fund now sits at £3 million they've just achieved, and the family aim to continue working to raise a lot more money for his unit.
Yeah, I think if anybody can help, I mean, everybody remembers Sir Bobby, how he helped everybody he knew, and with the Bobby Robson Foundation, he's raised, I think, millions of pounds, through in Suffolk and up in the northeast as well, and also for Suffolk, for the cancer, for breast cancer breakthrough. It's a really worthy cause, and there's a lot of local people working hard to raise money, and it's tremendous that these people give up so much time, and the more we can help as individuals, the better.
A lot of people have wanted to bring this to Suffolk and bring Sir Bobby's name to Suffolk, and it's taken a little bit of energy from various people, to do it, and there's been a lot of ideas. The Breakthough Cancer, we're linking to Sir Bobby's Foundation, and basically it's taken time, it's taken tremendous energy by certain individuals to do it, but now it just seems that fortunately the thing is starting to flourish and it's starting to grow. More and more people are coming on board, more and more people giving their time and their names and their success to it, and hopefully, it will flourish from this moment onwards.
So many people, you still hear it every day in every situation you hear about cancer and people suffering, and yeah, it's a good thing to do to try to solve to solve the problem, and the only thing we can do is just think about the financial part, that they can just try to find something to happen people in the future, and that's the only thing we can do, I think.
Everybody in Suffolk knows of Bobby, and with his connection to cancer and the breakthrough cancer thing, it's a way of probably repaying him in a way for what he done for the area, really.
So I think the opportunity to come and support this charity, these reunions have been very well attended, but they've been given an extra resonance and an extra sense of meaning by being able to raise money for Breakthrough and for Sir Bobby's charity. So both intimately connected with cancer, and you know, a way in which to make history relevant to today's generation and create a legacy that is really worth something from this reunion.
Okay, we'd just really like to say a huge thank you to all the businesses, both locally and nationally, and the press and media that are supporting us on this. But also, if there's anybody out there that would like to pitch up with some wonderful prizes for the auction, please do get in touch, because at the end of the day, it's all about raising funds.
And 100% will be split 50-50 between each charity, because we're gaining sponsorship for everything where there's a cost factor, and where there's a cost factor we are bringing the cost down to a minimal. So money will be very well spent by both the charities, and so crucially needed.
No, what we'd like really is for people, when the auction prizes are announced and the 2 weeks before the October dinner, is for people to look, you know, go online and look at the auction prizes and see if there's anything there that interests them, and to be able to bid, really, because we are, you know, using several months of everyone's time to pull these auction prizes together. So we would like people to have a good look and do a bit of research and hopefully, you know, put a bid in.